How you doing, folks? I'm Bill Honachevsky, and I'd like to welcome you to my vlog here. A little bit. First, I'd like to say, uh, please keep in your prayers the first responders, the essential workers, the police officers, the nurses, and the doctors who are keeping us safe during this time of the coronavirus. Today, I'd like to talk to you about uh, a business that you really never hear about anymore. I don't know if you've actually probably heard about it at all, but it's called Union Ironworks. And this business was actually one of the predecessors of the oldest continually operating iron and steel foundry in U.S. history. And it's located right here in Hunterdon County. Now, to start from the beginning, two gentlemen, one by the name of William Allen and one by the name of Joseph Turner. Now, William Allen was possibly the wealthiest man in Philadelphia. Supposedly, as the story goes, he had three beautiful white horses with a black carriage, and very ornate black carriage, and he used to drive around Philadelphia in that carriage. He was actually the mayor of Philadelphia and was widely known in the social circles. His business partner was a guy by the name of Joseph Turner. And he was actually a sea captain, if you can believe it, by trade. So these two guys actually formed a business called the Union Ironworks. Now, they had originally been to Hunterdon County, which was founded in 1714 after Robert Hunter. And they had a number of iron businesses, Durham Iron Works, that really didn't take off too well. But apparently they found a very high grade of iron ore located here in Hunterdon County. Now, you have to understand, back in the day, the British really considered kind of West Jersey kind of like wilderness. They couldn't make a lot of money off, so they considered it kind of like a wasteland until they found a very high quality iron ore. And then people came in droves to try to get, to make some money off, this iron. Now, essentially what happened is they came in 1742. It's believed that Allen and Turner purchased a pre-existing furnace that dated to 1700, which is located now under Spruce Run Reservoir. And they actually leased 3,000 acres in 1742, and in 1753 completed the purchase of 10,849 acres. Now, just think of it today. We talk about 1 acre, a half acre, 5 acres. And these two British gentlemen actually owned 10,849 acres, which included some of Bethlehem Township, some of Union Township, some of Clinton Township, Lebanon Township, Highbridge, and the lot. It was a huge amount of property. But in the whole stream of things, in comparison to some of the other landowners, it really wasn't that great. Just think of it, Lewis Morris, who was actually the governor of New Jersey, actually owned 100,000 acres, which is pretty amazing if you can believe that. But essentially, the ironworks actually was cutting down about an acre of trees a day to fuel the furnace. Now, what happens is, supposedly during the Revolutionary War, they actually made, the furnace itself actually made cannonballs for the Battle of Brunswick and Trenton. Now, possibly in the beginning, Allen and Turner actually gave cannonballs to both sides as a business. But their superintendent at the time was a gentleman by the name of Robert Taylor. Robert Tyler, actually, was his original surname. But he came in from Ireland and was a school teacher by trade in Hunterdon County. And Allen and Turner actually hired him to do contracts. And he was actually very good at it. Now, the story goes, after Hackett died, Robert Taylor became the agent for the Union Ironworks. Now, as the story goes, he was very good at what he did. Now, but if you read a little further in, the problem is it also helped that he actually was a single male. And let me get to that a little bit. Now, the Allen and Turner would solicit in the newspaper. They were looking for a superintendent for their ironworks. And supposedly, for a few times, the men with their wives would come in and they would see how much of a dirty business it was. So they would only last about a year or a year and a half. So when they found Robert Taylor, they said, well, he's great at contracts. Is he married? No, he's not married. Okay. Bring him in. He's our new superintendent. So I don't know. That's actually what's said, or that's the legend. So anyways, after the ironworks closed in 1781, it closed pretty much because once you cut all the trees down, of course, you have to bring in fuel somewhere. So it actually slowed down in 1781. Now what happens was, after the Revolutionary War, the peace was actually divided between Turner's descendants and Allen's descendants. Pretty much all of Turner's descendants was actually, a little bit west, Spruce Run Reservoir, where Spruce Run is, all the way west. And if you cut the line down almost near Spruce Run, everything east went to Allen and Allen's descendants. Robert Taylor actually purchased 366 acres at Bunnell's Tavern. And from that, he actually founded his own company called Taylor Iron and Steel Company, also known as Tisco. Now, that company itself actually merged with a company by the name of William Wharton and Company out of Philadelphia, and eventually became Taylor Wharton. Now, it left actually Highbridge in 1975 and went to Pennsylvania. And then from Pennsylvania, it went to Minnesota. So technically, arguably, the oldest continuing operating iron and steel company in U.S. history. So I thank you for listening, and I'll be sure to write a couple more of these and hopefully tune in. If you're curious about a little bit about the history of Hunter County and Highbridge and the ironworks, I wrote a book called Highbridge. It's actually located in any Hunter County library, or you can pick it up at any outlet on the internet. Again, thank you, and I'll see you soon.